needs there are, and definitely we could expect some major breakthrough as far as this is concerned. Shivani.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Aditya, for those details on that story. We're shifting focus now towards the Parliament. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is set to move for leave to introduce a bill to authorize payment and appropriation of certain further sums from and out of the Consolidated Fund of India for the services of the financial year 2025-2026. She will also move this to introduce the bill. Joining us on the broadcast is my colleague Brian Thomas with more on this. Brian, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is set to move for leave to introduce a bill that will authorize payment and consolidate certain further sums from the Consolidated Fund of India. Could you give us some more details on that front?
Well, yes, as of now, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will be seeking the House permission to introduce a bill that is aimed at authorizing the payment and appropriation of additional funds from the Consolidated Fund of India to meet expenditure for the financial year 2025 to 2026. Not only that, very importantly, this bill will also be focusing on then formally be introduced in the Parliament. So clearly, this Parliament itself, the session today that will convene from 10 a.m. today, will be very important because the Finance Minister herself will be seeking permission to introduce this very bill. Yes.
And Brian, when we are looking at this bill, what is this? What is the importance of this bill usage of funds and sums from the Consolidated Fund of India for the financial year 2025-26?
Well, this bill is a financial authorization bill, often referred to as a supplementary or appropriation type bill. Very importantly, again, she will be seeking Parliament's approval to withdraw the spend and spend additional money from the Consolidated Fund of India to meet the government expenses. Not only that, the union budget also approves government's spending in advance, and very importantly, the government may also need extra funds beyond that was originally approved. For example, for new schemes, you talk about higher than expected expenditures, emergencies, defense needs, subsidies or welfare spending. Now, the constitution will also require that any withdrawal from the consolidated fund must have the parliament's approval, and then the finance minister will be seeking to seek permission from the house to introduce the bill. Once this permission is granted, the bill will be formally introduced and then can be debated and passed itself. And then after the approval by parliament, the government gets legal authority to spend the additional amount, and without this bill also, any extra spending would be unconstitutional. Yes.
And Brian, do we see, when you have mentioned that this bill actually needs approval from the parliament, do we see any opposition to this kind of a bill being introduced?
There is always a uproar by the opposition, so I think it goes beyond any trajectory to the fact that they will be opposing for it. In any cases, for the fact that all this while when we've been following closely this very parliament session, there has been uproar, there has been sloganeering, there has been even placards being placed. That is also again unparliamentary. That was happening in the parliament itself. So clearly, it is goes without any debate the fact that there would be an uproar from the opposition side. But again, if the bill allows the government to legally assess and access and spend extra money from the Consolidated Fund of India to run government programs and meet expenses in the year of 2025 to 2026. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian, for all those updates on that story. We are shifting focus now towards cricket.